Welcome to Hoffmann-Photography. My name is Rainer and I like asymmetry. But there's more to asymmetry than just asymmetry. If that sounds a bit cryptic to you, then stay tuned. We all have a pretty good idea what symmetry is. Asymmetry, on the other hand, can take on different forms, and some of which are more subtle and not so obvious. I think it's easiest we just have a look at some examples to understand what I'm talking about. But before we have a look at the photos, here's a disclaimer. I will use the word asymmetry in a way that you may not be used to. No offense meant. Some subjects are simply created symmetric. Whenever I come across those subjects, I try to do them justice by showing this symmetry to good effect. Nothing wrong about that. Other subjects are created asymmetric, like this skyscraper in downtown Calgary. I like asymmetries, and this is one of my favorite architecture photos in my archive, courtesy of the architect. This, on the other hand, is an asymmetry that is due to the composition of the photo, which resulted in a large red area and a small yellow area. Here is another example that involves areas. In this case, the bright side and the dark side of the dune are approximately equal in size. That is some sort of symmetry that may not be so obvious. Placing the ridge of the dune further to the right in the frame creates unequal areas and thus an asymmetry. So far, the examples all involved some more or less geometric shapes. This, however, may not be an overly obvious asymmetry, but placing the wildebeest at the very bottom of the frame is quite different from placing them in the middle of the frame. Can you guess what the asymmetry here is? Of course you can. It's few versus many, or two versus many, if you prefer. And here it is one elephant versus many zebras. Large versus small is another form of asymmetry. This one may be a bit of a stretch of the word asymmetry, but for me it is a form of asymmetry. And no, it's not the off-center placement of the oryx antelope. The fact that life is possible in such a barren desert always strikes me as, well, asymmetrical. Old and new in one picture is another form of asymmetry, at least in my book. I don't know about you, but I like to have asymmetries in my photos. Generally, I prefer them over symmetric subjects, but of course, there are exceptions. As always, thanks for watching.